Hey YouTube, this is Mr. Monkman, the first way deck video. Before I start, a quick mail update. Got these off Barely Pro on Saturday, so I got your dual terminal Catastor and your dual terminal Bryonic. So it's just a trader. Your stuff will be sent out tomorrow on account of the fact that it's a post office is closed at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a deck vid on Herald of Perfection deck. You might have seen quite a few of these posted quite frequently. This is a very rough, very first build. It's very much based on the one run by Alpar, the Championship Series. But yeah, this is, like I say, it's very rough because I'm still waiting on some of the stuff to that I need for it. But I'll show you what I've got. I ran it at locals yesterday and won with it. Split for second and first with it. So really good. Went undefeated. So good deck. So 3 Herald of Perfection. What this does, you can send a fairy from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation of a spell, trap or monster effect. In short, as long as you've got fairies, your opponent can't do anything. It's such an amazing card. It's only got 1/8 attack, but you can honest it because it's light. And then it's got 2/8 defense. And when your opponent's got to attack over it, because you can negate anything that destroys it, that would destroy it, it's just absolutely insane. The amount of locks you just get into just insane. If your opponent doesn't have like outs there and then, you're just going to draw into more fairies to negate with, so there you get screwed. Next, I've got 3 Herald of Orange. You discard this along with another fairy to negate the activation of a monster effect. It's sort of like a miniature version of Perfection. Really good to take the opponent by surprise. Really good. It's a tuner as well, level 2, so it allows you to bring out your some synchros if needs be, but you very rarely synchro with this deck. And in general, it's just a light fairy, so that's good. Now these, I've got 2 Herald of Purple Light. If I had them, I'd be running Green Light. Unfortunately, of all the cards we actually have, we don't. Me and 9cc don't have a single Herald of Green, which is a bit strange. So it would be Herald of Green because I run Royal Decrees in here, so Perfection is really not needed. Not Perfection. Purple Light's really not needed. And also traps aren't that much of a threat at the moment. I don't think it's more spells. So there will be finally 1 Tethys. I do want to get 2 more of these. So that is a big one at the moment. What it does when you draw a card, if it's a fairy, you can reveal it, draw another, and you can keep doing that. In a deck that's really heavily fairy based, you just draw loads of cards. Just yesterday I drew. I had no card in hand, been using my Perfection to negate. Drew again, drew again. I'd drawn into Pot of Avarice, played it, drew again. Restocked my hand with fairies to negate with, so it just couldn't do anything, hence why it's so amazing. So yeah, run 1. I did run 2 Skeleton. Good for level. It's level 2, so it helps contribute to the special summon of Perfection. On account of the fact to summon Perfection, you need exactly 6 stars worth of monsters. Added to which, if you've got Tethys on the field, helps with bonus draw, and added to which is basically a floater, so that's good. 3 Solar Purity. These are a level 6, so you can discard this for your Dawn of Herald spell to bring out your Herald of Perfection, and then with Dawn of Herald's effect, bring this back to your hand. So you're playing it for basically free. It gives you control over your graveyard and such, and with the fact that you've got these guys, the removal doesn't really hit you that bad, so that's good. I play 3-dimensional Alchemist. Very heavily fairy orientated and quite monster orientated, so you're quite frequently removing your monsters from play. A 1/8 beta is good in this deck, considering it's got a lot of weak monsters. Added to which you can't bottomless it because it's only 1/3, and then you get your removals from play fairies. Works very well in conjunction with Solar Purity to get back, your boss monsters and stuff back to your hand. So that's good. To honest, yeah, it's all lights, so might as well run them. Really good. Add to which, if you notice, all these guys are either level 4s or level 2s, and then you Solar Purity is level 6s, so they all link perfectly well to summon Herald of Perfection, and like I say, you might as well run that. Really good for making a push with Herald of Perfection. Play 3 Nova Summoner. It's basically Shining Angel but better. But of course, the one restriction is the fact that you've got to get a light fairy, which this deck is all light fairies. The bonus is you can put them in defense. So say like you bring your Honest out, you can put it in defense mode, and it's got 1/9 defense and such like that. So that's good. And it's got another effect where it can summon 99 Parshaft if you've got Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, but obviously you're not going to be using that effect. Very unlikely you do. 3 Manju, 10,000 hands. Gets you any part of your combo to summon Herald of Perfection. A lot of people run these plus Herald of 10,000 hand plus Sonic Bird. I just think this is fine as it is, although I may end up running Herald of 1,000 hands. Not a Herald, Senju of 1,000 hands, sorry. Because they just Herald of Perfection is that good. I thought, oh well, it probably run out of cards and stuff. Even without Teffy's, the lock's still there, and yeah, it's just really good. So yeah, it's really good to get it out. 1 Arcana Force O. It's a level 1, which is probably the odd one out. Although you can use that along with Teffy's to summon him and basically summon Perfection. With Nova Summoners, you can actually put them into defense mode, which allows you to get his effect off. Because normally he can't be switched into defense mode from attacks, so normally you'd have to set him, and then by the time it's flipped, he doesn't get his effect. So you can get him out, and if you get a Tails, you can just he can't be targeted by opponent's card effect, thereby making him practically invincible. It's really hard to kill him. However, against Infinities, and basically Infinities shouldn't be able to get around this at all once you've got that effect if you get a Tails with it. As it was, the guy played zero max, very unusually, and obviously destroyed that. But really good, very defensive, and as I said, Nova Summon works perfectly with it. Finally, Big Boss Monster Krystia. I want to fit 2 more of these in. I've got 2 more on the way. This is my favourite card in the game, so the moment I saw a deck that actually really was good, that used it, I wanted to use that deck. This is the whole purpose as to why I'm even running the Perfection deck. It's such a good monster, 2-way attack, you just drop it, get your fairies back, gives you more, so it replaces itself for your Herald of Perfection. And then if you've got Herald of Perfection and this, your opponent might as well say it's good game, because they can't do, there's not a lot they can do. They've got to get over a 2-8 monster, 2-8 defense monster. They can't special summon, they can't, and any magic traps and monster effects they activate I can negate, so yeah. 3 Dawn Herald for the spell card. Really good spell. It's strange to be saying a ritual spell is good, but it is actually really good. You need to get rid of exactly 6 stars to summon Herald of Perfection. Also, you can remove it from play to add one of the materials back to your hand, which is perfect for this deck. Made a joke, perfect, perfection. So yeah, keeps fairies in your hand. Brain Control, MST, bit of staple, back row hurt. Preparation Rites, just run 1. You don't really use the last effect because you always be moving from play your spell card, your ritual spell, but basically it turns into a Herald of Perfection, so that's good. Pot of Avarice times 2, which is just so good because you're going through your deck so fast discarding it, you put it back into your hand, into your deck and such like that. Quite frequently you can just set up so you can just deck your opponent out by just waiting out and discarding everything, so yep. Finally, Heavy Storm. Back row hurt, really good. A lot, basically, main stuff that hits this deck would come from the back row since monsters don't really hurt it. 2 Decree, really good in this deck. You just activate it and then just go on, and you don't even have to bother discarding for traps then. Finally, Mirror Force and Dust Tornado. Back row hurt and front row hurt. Finally, extra deck, just quick recovery. Got Bionic, Castle. I just threw some stuff in. A lot of this you can't even use, but just threw a load of stuff together. Got more, but I just threw it together at last minute. Like I say, this is a very rough build. I will post a better build of it once I decide on what I want to do with it. I definitely want to get rid of a lot of spells and traps in it and make it more monster heavy. But yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, offer suggestions. I do like suggestions. I don't want to make it exactly like Lepar's build. I think it was a very brave build. It was something I was heading towards, but I wouldn't have made it as... I wouldn't have done a build quite like that with like so many monsters, and I think, I personally think his build is far better to what I would have come up with, which I'm glad he did, because then I can get some inspiration from that. So yeah, like I say, comment, rate, subscribe, offer suggestions, later.